Okay, good evening again, mga kababayan, our fellow Reds, Manchester Red fans, and all football fans all over the world, hopefully. Yeah, so welcome again to another edition of Pinoy Shots for Denders. It's me again, Jeff, and joining me tonight is, of course, our co-host, Gary, and we welcome back Carl, Kent, and our birthday boy, Jason. And please give a warm welcome to our debutant panelist, Lawrence. Yon. So good
Thank you.
evening guys.
Yes.
Thank you
Woo.
for being here. Okay, so good win. Good win. Sulit ang puyat last night. Hindi mo masyadong puyat kasi it's
Sobra.
1, mga 1 a.m. naman natapos. So okay lang siya. Um I liked how it went even though we scored first because usually we score first parang alanganin na, but we got that winning goal thanks to Juan Mata's penalty.
Si
Um
Tito Juan.
Tito Juan from a great run by Van de Beek, and the build up was really great, no. Gary, okay, let's start with you since wala ka last episode, during the Haskell special. Sige, share us your thoughts on the win last night.
Um, a little backgrounder siguro this is Juan Mata has now scored 34 league goals for United ever since we signed him. That is the most he has ever scored for in any club that he's played for. He scored 33 for Valencia, he scored 17 for Chelsea, and now he scored 34 for United. So it's the influence he provided over the entire game. Sobrang sobrang kalmado niya, and you can tell that the younger players were really looking to him for guidance. Lalo na sila Anthony Elanga tsaka si Ahmad. Now, it's probably going to be a question later, pero kitang-kita mo yung emotion sa kanya. Of course, after all that he's been through with his mom, I would say na very yung influence niya throughout the game. Actually silang dalawa ni Nemanja Matic. It was a good win all around. And this maybe one or two players might have played themselves into Wednesday. Yun. So Carl, ayun si Jeff nakabalik.
Who's that for you? Who's that? Sige, we can talk about that later when we do the preview na lang, no? Sige, Carl, ikaw. What's your take on that game?
I think I am very happy that they showed up, that we have a team B na we can hopefully build on for next season. That Oli doesn't have to depend on the first 11 time and time again. Lalo na pag next year, December, Christmas period. So we know na may key players tayo. I really like the young guns, Elanga, Ahmad. Very promising performances. Kahit sila Hannibal, I really love his introduction in place of Juan Mata. So maybe passing of the torch. Overall, it was a great win na pinakita natin na we are also deep. Kaso medyo hindi natin napakita this season yun. Hopefully next season, it will be sila yung mainly focus sa cup competitions except the Champions League. Kasi mostly dapat first 11 yun. But overall, I'm very satisfied with the performances by the whole team.
Partida, no? The first time we saw the kids was against Leicester, full strength, more or less a full strength Leicester team, and we almost beat them. And now, obviously, Wolves have gone down a bit in terms of for some reason their form has compared to the past few years, and because of that, Nuno is leaving right after that
Mm.
game. So, how about you, Jason? What's your favorite part, or what's a favorite aspect of that win yesterday?
Okay, so setting lang the stage. So when I was watching the game last night, birthday ko pa diba, before we transitioned to midnight. So I was like,
Yeah,
let's just not lose badly. Yun lang. I saw the team on paper, parang Wolves was a respectable lineup, and then ours medyo unproven, honestly, medyo unproven. And then I saw the chemistry between DJ, si Elanga, Ahmad, and si Donnie, and I'm thinking, hey, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. And I don't know if you guys saw my chat diba, last night na 3 chances in 13 minutes. I think we're gonna get this game. So my favorite was the fact that your fringe players were creating chances. DJ for a certain, I actually like the guy. I think he's a decent player, but very very team B. But last night he showed up. I thought his chemistry with Ahmad on the left was very good. Left, right? They played on the left. Yeah, I thought Elanga was is making runs na you'd expect Mason to do. The finishing, a lot of work to do, pero the intelligence and the runs were there. I thought Donny probably increases chances for next season. Honestly, when I was watching the first half, parang these guys, we think they're very far down Team B, pero hindi, they're a decent Team B. And we came to play. And for me, my favorite part was just those front, the attacking part. Individual favorite part was Matic running into the box. You guys saw me put that in the message box. Na, whoa, Matic is like, yeah, I'm 25 again. So he was running in the box. That was nice to see. One scoring, very nice to see. I think the rest of the rest of the game was okay, medyo expected. I thought defense was okay as well. So that was fun. That was fun watching the kids get their time in the limelight.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Actually, when the kids came on, like when the final substitute, well, at least Hannibal and Shoritiri, they came on. There was a part there where when we counter attacked from our own, well, from their half, and then you can see the chemistry. I think you mentioned that also. The chemistry amongst the academy guys, kita mo na makakakilala talaga sa'yo. So I think that's a good thing talaga to looking forward to their kumbaga, this is the new class of 92 quote unquote, right? I think konti na lang parang gano'n na sila. Ikaw, Kent, how about you? I want to hear your thoughts on that game last night.
Seeing Juan Mata pulling the strings in the midfield last night was very nostalgic. Kala mo bumalik tayo sa 2015, 2016, ganyan. Pero he was the calming presence that we needed for that game. Nagtaka ako kasi first of all, yung laro, ang bagal ng tempo. So I think it helped our midfield players settle in well. And sila Donny, si Matic tsaka si Mata, it's their type of tempo. Although si Donny mas konting mas mabilis. And siguro that tempo also helped our youngsters settle in quickly. Kumbaga ang daming may mga spots doon na may open space na our youngsters provided a breath of fresh air. Kasi sila gaya ng sinabi niyo, parang ang intelligent nila maglaro kasi magkakakilala na sila. And they always try to play forward. Parang yung napapansin ko parang hindi sila yung parang, sige, kontento lang tayo na paikutin yung bola. Sila if there's any chance na kaya nilang iaabante nila yung bola to create opportunities. Favorite part doon yung mga na-miss lang ni Dan James yung chance, pero yung assist sa kanya ni Ahmad to set him up for that attempt, it's very delicious.
Oh yeah, grabe.
Kumbaga parang nung nasa group chat natin when Dan James missed this was like, oh my, sayang. Pero you can see the flashes of brilliance in Ahmad really, and I'm looking forward to see more of them next season. Gaya nga na sinabi ni Carl kanina, we have a decent pool of players that can that pwedeng rumelyebo sa mga first team players natin. Kailangan na siguro bigyan pa natin ng kumpiyansa and makuha ni Ole yung right combination ng veterans, yung youngsters and yung ibang French players to create to create a very good lineup.
Oh, tama. Sayang nga yung assist ni Ahmad nun. Like, ganda na. Tapos, kala natin okay yung left foot ni DJ He served up that delicious cross to Elanga. And then when he had to, mali. Right foot pala yung pinangtira niya. Tapos, super wide lang, wala pang striker's instinct. So I think that's something that he can work on with Rashford and Greenwood and Cavani. All right, Lawrence, welcome to the panel. Thank you for being here. Great to have you. What are your thoughts on that win last night that basically assured us, undefeated away form this season?
So ayun, maraming salamat sa opportunity na to. Parang wala kasi ako nakakausap regarding Manchester United sa mga friends ko. So napakalaking bagay na ito. Ayun, regarding the game, it was a great game indeed. Kahit hindi mga first team players natin yung naglaro. So highlight ko lang yung performance ni Tuanzebe. So ang dami niyang blocks na it could have been a goal to Wolves. So I think isa siya sa mga pwedeng maglaro next game. So tingnan natin kung mapagbibigyan siya. And then si Donny Van de Beek, yun nga, may opportunity. Nabigyan niya naman yung best niya sa tingin ko. And si Elanga, future. Yun.
Sobrang exciting for next season. I mean, I think it helped nga, as Kent mentioned, the pace was a bit slower than your top tier Premier League teams. That's why Matic, Mata, and even Van de Beek kind of thrived in that kind of pace. Kasi si Van de Beek, he's comfortable with the one-touch passing. He gets the ball and then he just gets rid of it. Bigla. Kapon, I saw him try to take on the ball, which is a good sign. So season 2 is definitely exciting for him. All right. So the season it was, Premier League, we fell short. Walang 21 and 21, maybe 21, 22, no? But just one more look back at that season. No? What would be your favorite moment from the past season? Can be the Cavani goals or the goals of the season, like Bruno, or someone just stepping up and then making his mark on the team. Sige, Gary, any favorite moment for the season?
Siguro I am very, very happy for Luke Shaw. There was a point in his career where everybody was basically calling him shit. And then there was even a time when Brandon Williams actually outplayed him to be our starting left back. And then all of a sudden, di ba? And this is a residue of what happened in 2015. Residual effect yun ng injury niya. If all of you saw that game against PSV, grabe yung pagkakabali nung leg niya. It was a double leg break. And for him to come back from that and to finally start to realize what he can do. And ano pa yan, bata, ano pa naman siya, relatively speaking, he's still young and he's still gonna grow into his role. He's still going to mature. He's going to make better decisions. Ako, for me, that the highlight of the season for me was the resurgence of Luke Shaw. And a lot of it, credit has to go to Oli as well for being able to manage him. Yan.
Tama, I remember that, Brandon Williams seemed to take over that left back role because unlike Luke Shaw before, he wasn't really overlapping towards the front, right? Parang puro Brandon Williams yung making those runs down the left and that making them exciting. And we even experimented with Tati Chong for a game. He was a left wing back and he actually was decent siya, no? And then I think Shaw was either a substitute or a left center back. I can't remember now. Carl, how about you? What's your favorite aspect or moment of the season?
I think yung pinaka-vital sa akin doon is the 9-0 win against Southampton at home. Yun yung na-miss ko sa team natin, yung relentless na dikdikin mo pa na parang, okay, down to 10 sila, pero we will not settle for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go for more. Kung pwede nga lang 10-0 eh. I miss that relentless na pursuit of goals na kahit na 10 men sila, no mercy pa rin until the 90 minutes is up. I think yun yung medyo sana hopefully mag-grow pa. We can kill teams off na parang we should settle for 2-0 or 3-0 kung kaya i-4 or 5. Kasi sabi nga nila is football is entertainment for the fans, lalo na babalik na yung mga fans sa Old Trafford. So hopefully, we could continue na parang we should attack kahit na lamang tayo 3-4. Not to disrespect the opponent, but to entertain the fans and also to show na may mentality tayo na dikdikin natin sila.
Sayang, no? Kung yung 9 goals na yun, nabigyan natin sa Sheffield game or sa sa West Brom game, we might have looked at the title. But, things happen and, talaga, at least it's personally, I think it's progress, it's an improvement from the past 2 seasons. We're definitely getting somewhere. Um, how about you, Jason? Any favorite aspect or moment from the Premier League, in particular, Premier League season?
Premier League kasi I was gonna put Roma in my like top 1 eh
Ah,
kasi
sa Sabado na yun kasi may Europa pa tayo.
oo nga eh. Kasi I thought that game was like, okay, this is United, man. This is the team we love. From the Premier League, I'm torn between the emergence or the re-emergence of Shaw. I also like the relationship between Cavani and Mason. I think every time that they would sub each other, I enjoy that little seconds of my genuine parang it's almost father and son the way I see it. Or baka I'm reading too much into it. Pero I see so many parallels dun sa history ng club natin, 'di ba na there's a mentor figure who's teaching a younger kid in the team. And honestly, I haven't seen that in a while. For siguro in the last 5 or something years, we haven't seen that kind of mentorship happening. Na very very obvious and very halata. So I think that's my favorite, the Cavani Mason dynamic. They're fun to watch also, that which helps a lot.
Right. Kasi actually, kung kukumpitin mo, pwede nga naman talagang tatay ni Kung kukumpitin mo,
If
pwede,
oh nga,
pwede.
no, if Eddie was a teenage dad, actually pwede.
Pasok no? Pasok, pwede siya. So,
Mason Cavani.
hindi naman weird yung observation mo. How about you, Kent? Ikaw yung madalas gising pagka may United game eh. So, what's your particular favorite moment or aspect of the season?
Siguro yung being unbeaten away from home. Gusto ko talaga na nanalo tayo lagi sa Old Trafford. Kaso we hit a slump on the first few match days of the season eh. Puro home games yun. Pero ang ganda ng mga pinakita nating performances away from home. Yung 3-2 sa St. Mary's where Cavani scored twice to win the game, then yung sa sa Etihad, yun yung goal ni Luke Shaw doon na mala Jordi Alba or pa yung malupit na pag overlap niya. Nakakabilib kasi there are only a few sides who are able to do that. I think dalawang Arsenal teams lang ang nakagawa nun except from us. And it goes to show na tayo na well, some can contend na na wala namang fans ganun or mas kaya madali bumiyahe, madali magano. Pero syempre it's still a it's still a tough feat to manage. Travel, yung compressed schedules ng team natin considering na we're playing on Europe Cups, League,
Totoo.
ganun. And yung nagawa natin yun ng sometimes we're doon ko nakita yung mga times na we're yung grit ng team na we fall a goal down, we fall 2-0 pero kita mo lumalaban. Yun yung yun yung nagustuhan ko dati kay na nung compared to Sir Alex tenure na magpapabugbog muna sa away games tapos bigla magulat na lang tayo, they came back to get the win. Ganon. And nakita ko yung ganung mentality, flashes of that mentality dito sa team along with the unbeaten away record that we had. And hopefully makarry over yan next season and hopefully a few more wins in OT and it can spell things for us to be a genuine title contender or league winner.
Ayan, oo nga. Actually, came to a point na parang ano, no? Parang pag hindi pag tayo naka-score na una or pag I mean, pag naka-score sila na una, parang okay, game time. Alam mo 'yun, parang mali rin in a way kasi we should be being on the front foot. Pero it came to a point na parang okay, yan, game time na, mananalo tayo, So, how about you, Lawrence? What's your favorite aspect or any favorite moment from the Premier League season?
Medyo weird yung pipiliin ko. Ito yung matches natin against the London club. Yung tinalo tayo ng Tottenham 6-1 and yung sa Arsenal. Ito yung parang sa akin yung naging eye-opener natin, tsaka yung wake-up call. Kasi yung mga next games after that, ang galing eh. Yun sa Champions League, parang natitrigger sila. So, yun yung pipiliin ko. Tapos, yun nga, na-mention na rin yung 9-0 win natin sa Southampton. Isa rin yun. So, parang andun yung fire. Andun yung capability natin score na marami. Hindi naman natin yung in-expect na laging ganun. Pero, alam natin yung kakayahan ng players natin. So, yun.
All right. Thanks. Parang nga, parang wake up. Kasi nga, as Gary mentioned in the private chat, we didn't have a preseason. So that was basically, our preseason. That's 6-1, naisan tayo ni nung tinarget yung favorite player ni Ingo eh. Hoy, Ingo. Naghahanap na naman ng away itong isang to eh. So, hello Ingo. Yan. Push up ka daw. Push up ka muna daw. So, all right. So, I think so that's the season. It's an improvement from the past 2 years. We are back in second place. Might be a deja vu from the Mourinho season of 2016, wherein we were second, and then we hopefully win Europa League. And speaking of the Europa League final, I think Gary has some stuff prepared for us to share with the fellow fans on what to expect for with Villarreal. There are a couple of familiar names there. You have Gaia, you have Pau Torres, of course. We're targeting him. We have Paco Alcacer, who amazingly was left out of the Spanish team, but I think Gerard Moreno is still there, right? Um, that's the people that I can remember from Villarreal kasi si Kubo is not there anymore. So, yeah, Gary. So, can you take us on what you have and what to expect against Villarreal, and so that we can have a more informed hot take in terms of the game this Friday morning, right? Friday, diba? Friday 3 a.m. here in the Philippines again. That's right, Gary. Take it away.
Okay. Promise, sandali lang to. Mabilis lang to. So, let's talk about Villarreal. Kung titignan niyo yung stats ng Villarreal in La Liga, they're currently 7th with 15 wins, 13 draws, and 10 losses with 58 points. The biggest difference for them has been the reduction of their goals allowed ever since Unai Emery stepped in for Javier Calleja in July 2020. At the end of the La Liga season, they only conceded 44 versus 49. In terms of changes, yun nga, nabanggit na nga ni Jeff, Paco Alcarcel is there, which made Gerard Moreno, instead of being the main striker, has been transferred to the right wing. Sila ni, if I'm not mistaken, sila ni Moy Gomez, being the left winger naman. Just some basic things about Villarreal, and if time permits, I'll just share my screen. Mabilis lang ito.
Sige lang.
So, I'm going to share my screen. Tignan natin kung...
What? Wait. Wala pa yung share screen mo.
Yan. So...
Sige, choose the guy with the solo guy with the big square. Technical stuff. Wait.
Yan. Share. So...
Yan. Oh no. Where's your...
Yan. Nakikita niya?
Yep.
We can see our StreamYard.
Ayun. Pero hindi niyo nakikita yung hindi niyo nakikita yung PowerPoint.
Not yet.
Hindi pa. Okay, wait lang.
Takes me back to the office to work. Parang, kita niyo ba yung screen ko? Okay na ba?
Teka. Ako share screen natin. At
O sige ha. Yan.
yan, nakikita nyo.
Yan.
Yan.
Okay, so let's talk about Villarreal for a second. So one of the biggest differences that Unai Emery has made with Villarreal now is that they like to play out from the back. So kung makikita ninyo dito, this is the shape that they normally adopt pag nagbi-build up sila at saka nag-aatake. So essentially, this is a modified 3-4-3, or kung titignan ninyo, andito si Pau Torres, andito si Albiol as the center backs, and then nakaangat yung defensive midfielder nila dito. So they're essentially adopting a 2-1-4-2-1 shape. Pero this is a bit deceiving kasi sa build-up nila at saka sa atake, what they do is, ang ginagawa ng Villarreal, they allow their fullbacks to push all the way up as evidenced by the arrows na nakikita ninyo. This allows Moy Gomez and Gerard Moreno to actually tuck in which they both like to do. So, kung makikita ninyo dyan sa attack nila, nagkakaroon sila ng formation na parang they will try and control the middle part of the pitch. So, take note, the center backs of Villarreal are not exactly the fastest. So, one of the biggest advantages or one of the keys to victory for Man United is how fast can we transition once we once we get possession into a counter-attack. Kasi definitely, it's not out of the realm of possibility with McFred injured or one of it. I can still see Scott McTominay possibly starting. Pero one possibility would be for Oli to give up possession to Villarreal to give us the chance to hit them on the counter. Kasi nga, hindi ganun kabilis yung center backs nila.
Are you changing slides, Gary? Are you changing slides?
Yes.
Di siya naka-presentation view sa amin. You have to share that window. It's not the PowerPoint. Yeah.
Ayan. So yan, nakikita nyo?
Wala pa.
Sige. Pero yung una nakita nyo?
Yeah. Which is, I think it's similar to what we do. It's like a 3-4-3 basically. You have three at the back with the defensive midfielder dropping back, and then you have the McFred in the middle with the wing backs, Pisaki and Shaw. And then you have your three forwards.
Ayan. So, makikita nyo yung defensive positions ng Villarreal. Ang medyo how should I say, ang interesting sa Villarreal is when they adopt this shape defensively, makikita ninyo as outlined by the triangles there, is they actually do not counter press to win back positions. Ang ginagawa nila, or win the ball back, ang ginagawa nila, hinahayaan nila na mag-collect yung kalaban dito sa area na to na may blue rectangle. And then they will just move side to side. Ang ginagawa nila Unai Emery is they have that mid-block, yung apat na yan, and what they do is they try to win possession from this area of the field, and then babalik sila dun sa shape nila, paatake. So, ang mangyayari dyan is ang mangyayari is they try to look for opportunities when teams try to counter-press them. So, pag nag-forward press yung kabilang kalaban, ang Villarreal hindi sila nagre-react. Kasi usually, ang tendency is magpe-press din yung kabila, di ba? To try to win the ball back. Ang ginagawa nila, hindi sila nagka-counter-press. Instead, they move side to side. They make sure that they keep the ball in front of that block. Itong apat na to. So, that's usually your two midfielders and your two fullbacks, with the defensive midfielder acting as the shield sa likod. So, punta tayo sa predicted 11 ko. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Ayun.
Yep.
So, this is my predicted 11 for Villarreal. So, pwede pang magbago to. They could start that, I forgot the name of their midfielder from Nigeria, who started against Arsenal. But most likely, the danger people that you need to be looking out for would be si Moy Gomez. Second is si Gerard Moreno. And then third would be Paco Alcacer. So itong tatlong to. Ang tendency ng left wing and right wing nila is papasok sila sa loob to supplement the attack. So they are trying to cover the middle space as much as possible. Now, one thing also about Villarreal attacking wise is medyo right side heavy sila. So having said that, keys to victory for Man United, unang-una, very important, we need to focus down the left by utilizing Rashford, Shaw, and Pogba. So maninegate niya yung right heavy attack ng Villarreal kasi tayo naman left heavy tayo. So kumbaga sa boxing, unahan na lang kung sino makatama ng mabigat na suntok niya. So second, we need to utilize a counter-attacking threat in a 4-2-4 defensive shape. And then have Rashford and Greenwood fill the left and right channels as wide forwards. Kasi nga, nagpo-push up ng mataas yung fullbacks ng Villarreal. Minsan ka-level na nila yung striker. Kung sa napansin ko sa mga games na napanood ko and that game against Arsenal. So that is ang laki ng space na naiiwan nila. Once we win the ball back, we can actually hit them on the counter. And I mean, pagdating sa bilis, I don't think there's not too many sides in the world that could actually match up with us in terms of speed. Pag ginawang track meet yan, mananalo tayo where we can really hit them on the counter. Now, third point. Third key is the cover for Harry Maguire, which it's looking more and more like hindi siya makakapaglaro, and that's a really big loss. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that we might see two things. We might see Axel Tuanzebe start with Victor Lindelof kasi ang ganda ng performance niya against Wolves. At least at this point in time, I would rather have him start with Lindelof as opposed to Eric Bailly, and then have him perform some of the distributing duties, or Oli can shift to a back three with Lindelof, Shaw, and Tuanzebe. So, mangyayari niyan, Teles will become the wing back sa kaliwa, and then Wan-Bissaka will be the wing back sa kanan. And then that stabilizes the marking duties kasi hindi masyadong hirap yung central defenders. And that will allow United to still counter-attack. Pero ang magiging shape nila is coming out of a 3-4-1-2 defensive shape. Yun.
Sorry, nakamit pala ako. Thanks for that, Gary. So I just want to change up before the order in terms of getting the thoughts based on Gary's observations and inputs. Jason, you mentioned something about that in the chat. And what are your thoughts on, given what Gary has shared and what you know personally about Villarreal? How are we gonna approach this, especially Maguire is still up in the air, and then I'm not sure if McFred has been cleared, but I don't think it's that too serious. But McTominay was in the bench last game, so yeah. Let's start with you, Jason. What are your thoughts on that?
First thought is that this is probably the game where it's not a good idea to let them score first. It's probably not going to be a good idea. I think if we can get one up, regardless of the scoreline, one up before halftime, I think we're probably good. I was talking in the chat kanina na given what Cap has shown, diba, na that crowded midfield by Villarreal, plus the way Unai Emery usually builds his teams, I have a feeling we'll have to have Bruno and Pogba at top of their game, put the passes behind. Kasi if it becomes a foot race, 1v1 on those Villarreal center backs plus their goalie, I have a feeling we're gonna be okay. I think I actually fancy Axel also with Lindelof. I think Lindelof's passing is underrated. He knows how Rashford makes the runs. He knows how the forwards makes the runs. I think if he can get that done and he's covered by Axel well, we should be okay. I'm confident now with Luke and Wan-Bissaka, so they should be okay. But probably, yeah, I actually agree. We don't need the two holding midfielders for this game. It's a finals. Let's put more teeth. There are no points to protect here. So put the teeth in the first half, and then let's see how it is at halftime. Then make the adjustments na lang as a team. But I think we can nick this.
Right. Thanks for that, Jason. Actually, I have also a comment on one of Gary's points, but later na yan. Kent, how about you?
Kita yung yung kanina yung pinaliwanag ni Cap na parang may zonal lang sila ang Villarreal na hindi sila magpe-press. I think doon natin magagamit yung pace, yung pace natin na if we just keep being active there, di naman nila tayo ipe-press at di naman tayo mawawalan ng mag-generate ng chances through Bruno and Pogba. Sa tingin ko, ang dami nating magagawang attempts. Especially, kung titingnan doon sa formation kanina, parang dalawa lang yung nasa last line. It's sila Albiol tsaka si Pau Torres. Kumbaga ano yan ano diyan, unahan na natin na parang we should set the tone na parang sa game against Wolves, we need to get chances early para mabigyan na ng kumpiyansa. I think with the static way that Villarreal sets up, as per what Jason, I agree na hindi natin kailangan ng holding midfielders. I personally want to see Donny starting if either sa place dapat sa McFred. I think he can offer he can offer more going forward, especially yung mga late runs niya sa box, yung yung dynamic movement niya. Sa tingin ko, it's a perfect way to utilize his skills against Villarreal. And the way Spanish sides play, correct me if I'm wrong, pero hindi sila talaga yung masyadong physical eh. So kung sa takbuhan lang in a foot race, younger legs ng United would win. And we need to take advantage dun sa ibibigay nilang espasyo. That's where we'll thrive, where we will thrive at. So I hope they score first half. And siguro set the tone. Huwag nating hayaan yung Villarreal na patulugin yung laro. It's ours to win, it's ours to lose.
That's right. No, I hope that they have the same mentality. It's really ours for the taking. No, it really depends on us. Lawrence, how about you?
So yun, tama ba na hindi nag-qualify sa Europe yung Villarreal? Ito lang yung pagkakataon nila mag-qualify if they win.
I will have to check the tables. I'll get back to
Mukhang,
that.
mukhang ganun
go
eh.
ahead.
So parang they're not just playing for the trophy. So qualifications for Europe din. So parang kung sino yung mas may gusto ng panalo, yung parang magiging dikdikan to. So I still expect United win. Also, gusto ko rin makita kung gaano ba kagaling si Pau Torres. Regarding naman sa tao natin, I want Van de Beek na mag-start niya and Tuanzebe.
All right. But yes, they are 7th in the Liga, so I think this is their only chance to qualify for Europe next season. And yes, thank you, Ram, for the correction. Yes, it's Thursday morning, Thursday 3 a.m. Naging Wednesday yung Wednesday ang Europa League final, which is usually Thursdays, but now it's a Wednesday there. So it's Thursday morning here. All right, Carl, let's hear your thoughts. How are you feeling approaching this final? And do you agree, disagree? What would you highlight on Cap's thoughts on that?
I think I would disagree with this commentary on how Villarreal plays, but I think I would also take note that may youngster sila yung nakascore against Madrid sa last day ng La Liga, si Jeremy Pino. So he might replace the Nigerian right winger si Chukwueze. He might replace him. Tapos yung midfield, magiging importanteng laban yan. I think Pogba and Bruno should be up for this, lalo na it's a final. They should show their class talaga. Since ang most likely opponents nila din is si Coquelin, formerly of Arsenal, and then si Parejo. And then also I would like to see Cavani using his wits, lalo na kay Albiol and kay Torres. Then hopefully ma-unleash sa wing si Rashford and si Greenwood. Since kung as per Cap's analysis, makakapag-take advantage tayo sa wings natin. Then they could cut inside, lalo na si Mason. He could easily torch the left back of Villarreal, who's most likely Alfonso Pedraza. So I think we could do this, but I'm not being overconfident. Tamang kaba lang and excitement. So hopefully we'll win this.
All right, thank you for that, Carl. If there's one thing I want to point out lang, if there's one thing that Ole will not do is to revert to a 3-4-1-2 because he's not like that anymore. Matigas sa ulo niya sa 4-2-3-1. That's how the way it is. But if you see, our 4-2-3-1 shifts like that. It shifts to a 3-4-3, 3-4-1-2, depending on our personnel. Because if we put Luke Shaw as a center back, LCB, we are basically negating our strongest weapon. Well, so far, he's stronger than Rashford down that left side. So I think Luke Shaw will still be our fullback. But one of the most talked about points coming into this game is, are you gonna who are you gonna drop in the front three? Because if you start Pogba on the left and then you have Cavani on top, who's gonna be your right winger? Unless unless we just go for one holding midfielder, which makes space for Pogba on a deeper role. But with all his again his persistence in his kumbaga tigas ng ulo, no, he'll stick to a 4-2-3-1. So who will be on that right side? Gary, sino tingin mo yung sa kanan? Rashford or Greenwood?
I'm going with Mason. Kasi it's at that point in the season that he's also hitting a very nice patch of form. And I'm playing it by percentages here, although syempre anything can happen. But based on form, I would put Mason on the right uh, compared to Marcos playing on that right hand side.
Anyone else going for Rashford? Is anyone going for Rashford on the right side?
Me.
Kent, sige, go.
Me, kasi siguro lang it's experience. Rashford has been tested in big matches na. Ang hindi nga to it's a very very good problem if you ask me. Kasi parehong kayang tumagal ng 90. Although si Mason more of a finisher talaga, si Marcus dual threat because he can set up plays as well. He can cross as well. Best scenario I can see it, Marcus can have a run at least 65 to 70 minutes. Tapos pag medyo stretch na yung depensa ng Villarreal, tsaka ipapasok si Mason to deal extra damage. So it's a very good problem to have. Siguro ang lang kay Rashford, medyo siya may times na rough patch siya. Para siyang diesel. Matagal mag-settle sa laro. May ganon siyang tendency. Pero dahil it's a big game, he has to change his mentality. Ganun lang.
Jason, I think you had something on your mind that you want to point out kanina.
Aside from Ole subbing himself in, it is 1-1 in the 93rd minute. No naman. I wouldn't be surprised if Ahmad plays, as he starts. I think that will. I think that's going to mess up a little bit with the Villarreal game plan. Because the last the 3 to 4 days before the match, they're talking about it. Who's Ole gonna put out? Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, this is how you deal with Rashi if you can deal with him. Here's how you deal with Mason if you can deal with him. Cavani always gonna be a threat. And then you put in a player as tricky and as I don't know. I don't know the word for Ahmad, but I would use the word like mature. Like he has this certain level of maturity na
For his age, no? Like compared to the academy boys, parang iba
malayo
yung angas
malayo. I think that's the word. Meron siyang angas when he has the ball. Like when he was playing against the Wolves, and then he'd carry the ball, you'd see 2 to 3 people would immediately go up to him kasi they knew if it's 1v1, oh fuck. So people go up to him. And what happens is he makes people like Donny look good. He gets the ball to Mata. Mata looks like he's a puppet master all over again. But if you see 2 to 3 moves before that, Ahmad was carrying the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was put in, rock Villarreal's game plan for about 60 minutes, 70 minutes. And if we're not up by 2 goals, we're probably going to put in all the big attackers.
Another aspect that I like about Ahmad's game, is of course, he will lose the ball because he's young, but he wins the ball back.
Oh yeah.
Unlike our other wingers who are just seem to be disinterested in defense, diba?
Ang sipag niya.
He's the type to get
Coach's
the ball
dream,
back.
Coach's dream yan.
Sobra. And yun nga, may angas siya eh. Parang sabi ko nga sa chat last night, our academy boys were like press breakers. They were the ones who were, like immune to the press. No? Parang they could beat them off the dribble for some reason. So it's a good problem to have. So we have one for. Sige,
pero in addition, In addition, the game against Wolves baka not a good gauge kasi legs ng under 23s iba talaga sa legs ng late 20s to early 30s. So baka we just saw a simple youth plus adrenaline versus full season tiredness. Baka
Bagay.
yun lang din.
Pwede rin. So we have Greenwood, we have Rashford, and then we have a wild card. Sabi nga ni Julius, who's the magic bunot, and for Jason, the magic bunot is Ahmad. Same with the Ram, no? Ahmad starts. How about you, Lawrence? Who would you start down the right wing?
I'll still go with Greenwood. Yun nga, inform siya ngayon. So, yung mga past few games niya, parang na-revive siya ni Cavani talaga eh. Parang iba yung dating ni Cavani sa team natin. Parang mas okay nga na-sign siya hanggang next season para ma-improve pala si Mason. So, I'll go with Mason.
All right, so we have two for Mason, one for Rashford, and then one wild card with Ahmad. O ikaw, Carl, itatay break ka ba? Or magtatay ka ba? Or what? Or may iba kang hugot?
I think si Rashford sa right, because I think we'll go to our default na Pogba left, Bruno, then Marcos. Then I think sa midfield, if wala talaga si either of McFred, I think Matic plays for experience, lalo na kailangan ma-shield yung hindi familiar yung back to eh. It's either Axel and Eric Bailly with Lindelof. So kailangan ng protection. Then I think Matic protects that. So I think Rashford talaga yan. So hopefully we'll see the goals parang yung sa Everton coming from the right. Then Cavani anticipates. It's a goal. So hoping that happens.
For me, Rashford is one of our best crossers from the right. The problem with Rashford is he seems to be so disinterested in playing that flank. Diba? Parang hindi siya kulang sa gana when he's on that side. But when he does play, I mean, he can put those crosses in. He's better than, I don't know, than everyone. Si Daniel James pwede niyang labanan in terms of crossing from that side. But it's his interest level that really concerns me. As for Greenwood, yes, he's in a good patch of form, but unlike Rashford, kumbaga, if you put in Rashford, sabagay, has Rashford, did he have a game na impact subs Rashford? Like recently, right?
Leipzig
Parang-
pa ata yung...
Parang Leipzig Tapos one game lang siya. Unlike Greenwood, if you don't start Greenwood and then he comes in, there's a certain change in the dynamic of the front three. So maybe I'd go for the safe option and just go with the magic bonus of Ahmad because, I don't think Ahmad can change the game in terms of being a sub, but he can hold his own down that right. But knowing Ole, malabo talaga. But hope against hope, he might actually start there. So yeah, I hope that helped out with Julius's question for us. Yung mga baka may magic bunot. Okay, we're on the last 10 minutes of the show, and coming into this Villarreal game, who's your? So we talked about the right wing. Who's your midfield? You said that McFred is a terrible choice. Always has been. Do you think Matic will be a good fit this type of game? Or would McTominay hold his own and make it effectively a 4-3-3 with Bruno and or maybe Van de Beek, and then you have Pogba down the left wing and then someone else on the right wing? Anyone else would want to chime in? Any of the panel?
I would like to share my thoughts about the midfield.
Sige.
I think we really need Matic there na siya yung holding kasi siya yung mas sanay dun eh. I really don't trust Scott and Fred na sila lang yung sa east dun eh. I don't really trust them kasi baka ma-misplace pa yung pass. Then since dalawang strikers ng Villarreal, it might lead to a goal. So we need someone who's really proficient with the ball na may height na hindi mabubuli kasi I also expect Villarreal to pinpoint our corners, dead balls. So that kung maglalaro man si McTominay, he should be a box-to-box midfielder and yun talaga ang laro niya so that he could help Matic lalo na pag natatakbuhan na siya, and he could also join the attack if kailangan ng tulong nila Bruno, ni Pogba. Pwede rin siyang mag-come in late like dun sa Leeds. He could also be a decoy, ma-attract kay Bruno tapos siya yung mag-run in sa back post or siya yung mag-umatake sa bola.
All right, thanks, Charles. Anyone who would like to chime in?
Ako, sige.
Sige,
I
Gary.
agree with I agree with Carl na Matic should play the kasi let's face it, out of all the midfielders we have, he pretty much is the only one qualified to be the six. Ano yun that acts as sort of an insurance para dun sa dalawa. And by the way, my back four are kung mag 4-2-3-1 si Ole, my back four would be Wan Bissaka, Tuanzebe, Lindelof, and Shaw. And it's going to be Dave in net. So Matic has to play that role, and yun nga I guess the question is, do we go with the double pivot or do we go with the single? Ang lang kay Matic, alam niyo naman. So hindi ko na kailangan banggitin. 'Di ba? So we probably need someone in the mold of probably Donny to be able, kung insistent sa double pivot, or pwedeng siya tsaka si Scott, with Scott being the more adventurous midfielder na mas aabante to be able to bridge that gap between the first third midfield and to be able to send it to Bruno and Pogba and the others. So yun, I'd probably go with McTominay and Matic sa sa midfield natin.
All right, thanks, Gary. Kent, Jason, Lawrence, any other question? Sige, Kent, go.
Yeah, I think Matic plays. Ang pinaka main na na flaw ng McFred is yung pagiging for me observation ko lang, pagiging makalat nila. There are times na si Fred he's a good ball winner. Pero nawawala yung positional sense niya kung saan siya napupunta. Kaya once na magkamali siya, we know that his ball control is not really that the best. Kalat na. Ang nangyayari pa minsan, si Scott masyadong umaabante and Fred goes very deep. Di naman niya kayang yung parang kay parang yung ability ni Fellaini dati or ni Herrera na mag-retain kahit nasa deep positions ka within the line. So I think we really need Matic there kasi yung mayroon siyang positional sense, as well as yun nga hindi as much as I like I'll go for Tuanzebe and Lindelof too, pero wag tayong pakampante lang kasi basta-basta rin. Mas mabuti yung may insurance tayo sa harap nila, may taga-shield para kahit at least malusutan tayo ng isa, may stopper tayo dyan in Matic. I think one of yung with Matic, either Scott or Donny, wala tayong talo dyan. Both can play their roles very well. Back-to-back midfielders. Diyan
Isa lang
dapat tayo
talo
magkaroon
natin.
ng sub. Hindi, I mean, diyan tayo mananalo pala. Diyan, at least one of the subs, either Scott goes in for Donny or Donny comes in for Scott. Parang so-so lang siya eh.
Talagang
So,
wala yung isa, Parang,
oo.
not an option whatsoever.
Kasi Matic, it will allow yung single pivot kaya. As long as may utilize lang well yung substitution time between Donny and Scott or vice versa.
I wonder if Matic can keep up with the pace. Yun lang naman yung worry ko. Jason, Lawrence, would you like to add on to that, or do you agree?
Ayun nga, na-mention yung pace kasi, sabihin ko lang yung yung mistakes ni Matic yesterday. Yung naagawan siya ni Traore. Buti na lang nakasabay siya, kundi ewan ko ano nangyari. Tapos
Although,
yung
I would like to point out, kasalanan ni Tuanzebe yun. That was a terrible pass. Sige, Lawrence.
Tapos yung isang din, yung nadulas siya leading to that Wolves goal. Ewan ko ba't siya nadulas doon. Pero isa ring medyo napansin ko lang. Pero I will go with Matic regardless of what happened yesterday. So, ayun, ganun pa din, Tuan Sebe sa, sa likod. Yun, sila pa rin.
All right. You, Jason, would like to add to that, or
Yeah, I
you good?
actually want to. I do agree when you guys were chatting about and talking about Matic. I was just thinking, sitting and thinking. Actually, oh nga, no, he's the guy. He's the kind of player you want in a final. He's an old head. He doesn't need to be fast. Not against this team. I don't think so. And the thing is, he has a calm pass with him. Like when he has the ball, meron siyang, I don't know if you see it in the game, but he points to players like where you should go. I got the ball here. Pass it muna, tas I'll give it back to you. Parang he's always communicating and talking to them, which I don't see McFred do enough of. So I think for this particular game, with Matic's eye for a pass more often than not, tsaka I'm quietly hoping, he has a Crystal Palace finish in him. Kasi when Fred gets into a shooting position, he hits the fifth seat from the rafters. Eh. So I hopefully Matic can when he gets into those kinds of positions that Fred and Scotty gets, he's probably a better guy you want to for like a first time shooting opportunity. Tsaka that old head, we need that in the finals.
Yeah. Sabi nga, di ba? I mean, most of us would agree that kung mas bata pa lang talaga si Matic, he would be, we wouldn't really need a central defensive midfielder
Yeah.
because
20,
he's the
28-year
guy.
old Matic, yeah.
Yeah. The problem is he's not cut up for the EPL na. So, yun nga, with the Euro games, yeah, maybe he's really the perfect one kasi they're not that as pacey as the pressers in the EPL. Okay. All right.
Magdasal na tayo
Yeah.
sa PT room. Matic.
Sabi na we can't risk Fred playing. Hindi ko na sinabi yung pangalan pero sinabi niya. Fred is a risk. But by the way, thank you for noticing. But we have used the new logo. Sige nga, Gary, can you announce the story
Oo
behind our
naman.
new logo? Yeah, ganyan.
Ayun. So this is part of our continuing commitment, wow. to
To improvement.
actually
Continuous
yan,
improvement yan.
oo. Parang ano lang yan eh, parang proseso lang yan. So like we'd like to thank our resident artists in the group. Si Ardel yan, and then yung sa opening billboard and closing billboard si Peter, may gawa niyan.
Peter, yeah.
Yan. Si Ardel tsaka si Peter. Ang gagaling nyo po. Kung may oras kayo, turuan nyo ako.
Tapos si
Yan.
Peter daw magpapasticker nung logo. So,
Ayun.
okay yan. So, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Ardel, for the time. This is all voluntary work for now. Wala pa naman kaming earnings. Kita nyo, wala pa namang ads yung YouTube replays if you watch it. So, si Jason, papaturo tayo kay Jason. How can we?
Oo nga, no?
Para yung supporters club funds, pwede nating mapalago and make it an official. Although, are we boycotting that or are we still pushing through? I don't know. If we push through with that, you're paying the Glazers. But, if you don't pay the Glazers, then we're just some group of guys. But, all right. So, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this evening. Gary, as usual, with your information and your insights. Carl for being a regular and same with Kent. Jason, our resident influencer. Axe. With a City fan for a best friend. And our deputy. Hi, Nate, if you're watching this. And to our debutant.
He obviously isn't.
Yeah.
He's
Even if you're
not.
here,
He's not. No.
And our debutant Lawrence, thank you for joining us tonight. Hope we still see you in the future episodes. So thank you again, fellow Reds. Do watch the replay. Teka na yung branding natin, Gary. Ayan.
Eto
Like,
to.
comment,
Ayan.
follow, subscribe. Ayan.
Yeah.
So please do support the channel. And we'll see you after the Villarreal game when we have that Europa League trophy in our hands. Am I right?
Yes.
All right. So again, good night. See you on Saturday, guys.